Greetings everyone, this is Nara and welcome to my guide on what role to play in Overwatch. This is a new type of video for me and I would really appreciate if you liked or disliked the video, gave some constructive criticism in the comments below and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But anyways, let's continue with the guide. Disclaimer, beware of the if you content on this video because there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all solution. It all depends on different game modes, maps and preferences. First of all, we will go over what role you should play to have fun, what suits you and all that kind of stuff. If you want something more intelligible, just hang on. We will touch that subject later. Let's talk about what expectations you have from the role you play. If you want to compete with other players in your group to be the hero of the match, then go offense. If you want to compete with other players in your group and don't be the hero of the match, go defense. If you don't want to compete with other players in your group and don't want to be the hero of the match, then go with tank. If you don't want to compete with other players in your group and still be the hero of the match, then go with healer. Now let's talk about your personality. If you try to be the coolest person in the room, always compete with others and try to beat them, go offense. If you don't try to be the coolest, just want to hang out, go defense. If you are the intelligible and responsible manly man or womanly woman, then go tank. But if you are a good person helping other people and talking with everyone, just go healer. Now that we are done with the dumb part of things, we can continue to more strategic choices. First of all, you should always play the lacking role in your team, or communicate with your team to make them change into that role if you can't or don't want to play that role. The DPS role should be your last priority since the majority of players want to play DPS. I will separate the DPS role into offense and defense just like in the game. Explain them first and then go down to tanks and healers. We will go down the list in the order of their priority. The first thing you should check is whether you are playing on the attack or defense side of the map. This part only concerns the players that want to play DPS. You can play as a tank or a healer to fit your team's needs. I will talk about that later in the video. And I will be considering Symmetra as a defense hero since she's not a healer. If you're on attack and want to play DPS, you should mainly play offense heroes as implied by their name. You can play some of the defense heroes as well, but we will talk about that on another video. And for the love of God, please do not try to push with a sniper, excluding Ana, of course. Now, you can pick a sniper to kill a pesky Bastion or Torbjorn, preventing you and your team from proceeding to the next objective, or pick a sniper at the start of the game and get some easy pickings, then switch off to something else. But that is all you can do with a sniper on attack, if you are not a master of the hero, of course. If you want to play DPS on defense, however, things might change a little bit. If you are a new player, you would probably think, oh, I should play defense heroes on defense, right? Wrong. That's not the case. If you are good at going behind the enemy lines and flanking, then go with an offense hero. If you can aim well and play from a distance, pick a sniper if you don't have a sniper already. And if you play better with your team, then pick a defense hero. If you're on a control map, you can play as either of those roles, and if you're on a control map, you can play as either of those roles, and if you're on a hybrid map, you can pick a hero for the type the map starts in, then change over to another. The second thing to consider is the type of the map. I will talk about all the roles from now on. If you are playing on an escort map and want to play DPS, you can pick whatever you want, except for builders. Sure, you can get a lot of kills at the start of the game, but as the payload moves, you will have to move too. And that is a huge disadvantage considering a builder depends on his or her builds. If you don't have a tank on defense, go with a tank. If you don't have two tanks on attack, play a tank and ask a DPS to play a tank too, since you will be moving and want to be able to protect your team well while you push the payload. If your team doesn't have two healers on defense, go with a healer, since you will try to stop your enemies and take a lot of damage while doing it. If you don't have a healer as attack, play a healer. You might not need two healers since the payload heals you too. Just talk about this with your team and all will be fine. Now, if you are on an assault map and want to play DPS, just go with my explanation on choosing on attack or defense. It will probably work. If you're on attack, you can go with a 2-2-2 composition, that is 2 DPS, 2 tanks and 2 healers. If you're on defense, you might be able to make it with only one tank if your tank is good. but if not, go with 2-2-2. And if you are playing on a control map, try to go with 2-2-2 on either side. There are some other compositions as well, but this seems to be the strongest one at the moment. And the last thing to consider is the heroes your team picked. If you want to play as a DPS, you should check what your healers are. If they are mobile or can heal from a distance, if they are not Lucio for those who are dumb, then you can pick a mobile and squishy DPS, since the healers will be able to heal you, but don't be dumb and run into the enemy waiting for your healers to focus on you without communicating first, because that is just dumb. And if you don't have mobile or long range healers, pick something high-end self-sustain or good at disengaging. If you have healers that can't self-heal efficiently or have DPS that plays with their team, have 2 tanks in your team. If not, you can get away with 1, but check the flow of the game and decide if you need 2 or not. If you can't push or hold, you probably do. And last, if you have a brain, play a healer. Please note that this guide is for the start of the game only, and you can always switch heroes to counter your enemies. Just don't forget to communicate with your team and make them fill your old role first. But thanks for watching, game smart, and don't forget to drink water.